What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about Bulgarian split squats, rear foot elevated split squat, whatever you want to call it. In the last couple years, I've gotten away from, with almost all my clients, actually squatting with the bar on the back, or even front squats. It seemed like aggravated shoulder issues in a lot of people, aggravated lower back issues. The room for error just wasn't very big. So I went to this. Doesn't seem to ever give me any problems. Every now and then I'll get someone that's too tight, and then we have to do an easy fix, and we can usually get them to work out. The one thing I really wanted to hit home with was, I see these a lot in the gym, and there's some things I don't like when I see them typically. The first thing is the toe in the bench. I know some people, some very smart coaches teach it like that. I don't like that because I think it limits the amount of stretch you get in this hip flexor. And in a world where we sit all day, I think that's very important. We don't need to overstretch it where we have severe pain through the quad the next day, but we want to get some active mobility, active stretch on it. So what I mean is, you'll see in magazines sometimes, you'll see around the gym, people go like this. They take an overstretched stance. A lot of times the pelvis, instead of being straight, they'll be rotated to kind of accommodate for that. And then their range of motion is only about into there. They get blocked by their toe. And it is true, you won't get the same amount of tightness that a lot of people experience through their plantar fascia, and that has to do with also being tight through that hip flexor because it kind of pulls the whole sock. If you think about fascia as a sock around the whole body, it pulls that whole sock or that whole net up. So what I prefer is that back foot flat on the bench, and if you have a problem with that, you can always use a leg curl machine, the roller, or even a bar in a rack, wrap a mat around it, use a bar pad, and then put your foot up on that. The round surface in the ankle seems to be a little bit better. So when I do them nice and smooth down to the bottom, I'm a little tight on there, I gotta move out some. The front side mechanics should look like a regular barbell squat. Heel down, hip through, stand tall. And what I mean by that is, I don't like to see people driving too far forward where they're losing stability in the heel like we talked about last time, or where they come back and then they slide back into the bottom. What I always want is nice equal ankle, knee, hip, smooth motion, relaxed on this back side so we get that stretch into the bottom, heel down, stand up. You'll know if you're relaxed on the back side because your knee will actually be slightly behind your hip at the bottom. And I'll try and let you see that again. So you sit down, relax into it, knee slightly behind my hip, behind me, and I have knee a little bit forward, good flexion in the ankle, but my load is still on my hip like a traditional back squat would. These mechanics are pretty much what my barbell back squat, safety bar squat, looks like, heel down, coming out of the bottom. Now some people have problems with that back hip flexor. There's an easy way to get around this. You bring the floor up to them. Sometimes a smaller bench will be available, and that's usually your best bet. But if not, just take a plate or two, put a mat on top of it, Eric's pad if you have that. You can set up. And then as you see, that distance is a lot less. It's a little bit, so then you come back slightly into the bottom. Distance is a little bit less. Shouldn't get the same type of aggravation in there. Now some folks, they say I have knee pain no matter what I do, and that's usually from not being able to maintain a vertical tibia. Tibia, the more vertical it is, the less shear force on the knee, less the knee moves forward, the less pain you potentially would have. So usually this will fix it about 9 times out of 10. Take some type of block in the gym. You can always use another bench where your foot will go under it. Start from the bottom. Find your distance. So right there is where I want to set up. My knee is good, my hip is good. There's my vertical tibia. Boom, that's my distance. Heel down, right up. It's not going to be perfect. But I'm sitting my hip there. I'm maintaining that vertical tibia, and that should eliminate most of my knee pain instantly because I'm not going to get any type of shear. That won't look exactly like your barbell back squat, obviously, but those people are probably box squatting anyway, and you're aiming for a vertical tibia. So that's what I look for when I have people do rear foot elevated split squats, Bulgarian split squats. You want to make sure as any lower body exercise, you're getting good hip activation and you're always in line. Toe, knee, hip, or even a slight bit of external rotation where the knee will come outside. You don't need to force the knee out. You don't want an unstable foot but we never want that knee and that foot collapsing no matter what it is. And this just follows that rule.